Hello, if you can hear me, just drop in the comments. Let me know if you can hear me. I can see people joining in. Okay, guys, thanks for joining in. Thanks for joining in. We are waiting for a few others to join. Just please, just bear with us for a moment. All right, guys. Host is set. Our host is set, and in a jiffy, we'll be getting started.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Hello. Hi. Please let me know if you can hear me. I'm not quite sure that you can. If you can hear me, please let me know.
We can hear you.
Okay, great. Thanks, Awai. Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's Career Summit. My name is Christiana, and I'm excited to have you all here. So, this summit is all about exploring opportunities that can shape your future. And today we'll be introducing you to the EB3 pathway. This is a unique route to help you build a career and start your life, build your life in the US. All right. So whether you're joining from work, from home, or you're on the move, know that you're in the right place. And we have a lot of value packed into the next few minutes just for you. Before we dive into this pathway and all that we have for you today, I want to quickly share this. Opportunities like this can be life changing. And the stories we have seen of people who took the step, who took this leap, and now have thriving careers in the US, who have built their lives in the US. These stories are very inspiring. So I want you to know that if they can do it, you can do it as well. So today is not just about giving you information, it's also about possibilities. It's about helping you see that your career, your dreams are valid, and there is a clear, structured way to make it happen. It's not impossible. There's a blueprint, and I'll be sharing that with you. So to kick things off, let's start by just do something to get to know each other a little bit more. A quick icebreaker, right? In the chat, type one word that describes what excites you most about exploring career opportunities in the US. So, what is that one word that excites you the most about exploring this your career opportunity in the US? For example, it could be growth, adventure, security, revenue, money, family. Okay, guys, I'll give you 20 seconds. So you have 20 seconds to drop your own word in the chat. So what is that thing for you? What is that thing that is pushing you to want to explore career opportunities in the US? Is it family? Is it money? Is it career? Is it opportunities? Is it you just want to grow? All right, guys, please leave your word in the comments. You have 20. I'm not seeing any comments. I'm not seeing any comments, guys. Is it me? Development, great. I see greener pastures. Now we are talking. Okay. Better quality of life. I love that. I love these answers. Life quality. Yes. Greener pastures again. I love these answers. This reminds us why sessions like this matter, because behind every application, there's a dream, there's a plan, and there's your story. So here's what we're going to cover today. We'll explain what the EB3 pathway is and why it's a great option for so many people looking to start their life and build their career in the US. We'll also share with you who qualifies for this, what are the step by step, and what is the process to get started. And finally, we'll show you exactly how we can support you on this journey so you can take your next steps with confidence. All right. By the end of today's session, you will know if this pathway, if it's right for you, how to get started. You're not stuck. How can you move forward in this process without feeling overwhelmed or asking yourself, is this even possible? We hear this, we hear that. Okay. So let's get started, guys. Keep your questions coming in the chat. Stay engaged, and most importantly, imagine yourself on the other side of this process, achieving that life and that career that you've always wanted. All right, thanks, guys. I'll hand over the microphone to AY so that he can take us into the next phase. Let's get started. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you so much, Christiana. Thanks for that. I have Mr. Emma on the call already, so he will be walking us through how we can position ourselves globally for career opportunities in the United States, also walking us through the next steps. Because I mean, that's why we're here, right? So, Mr. Emmanuel, are you ready for us?
Hey, why? Yes, I'm ready. Is there a way to spotlight this? Or thank you. I feel like I can see myself now. Exciting. Hey, everyone. Nice to meet everyone. I am Emma Shei, and I'll be talking to us briefly today about the opportunity to globalize your career. The key thing I want to talk about today is how easy it is for you to take advantage of a green card route to the US. I hear this question after we talk to people. They're like, if it's that simple, why is everybody not doing it? And people who ask that question, they don't know the power that information carries. The difference between who turns out to be a billionaire 20 years from now and the person who did not is not just who you know only, is the kind of information we are able to access and what you do with that information. Accessing the opportunity gives you accessing information or knowledge gives you an opportunity for you to choose whether you want to run with it or not. So as I begin to dive into these things, a lot of them might seem a little simple for you. But if I've walked that path, if my partner have walked that path, if so many people today have walked that path successfully and they were able to transition their career from Nigeria to the US, and they just didn't come here to come and file for asylum or come here to struggle. They came here and they are thriving, they're living a good life, and they are better off for it. That means it's actually as simple as it sounds. So before you come at me and start saying US is difficult, I like to break down some facts about the US immigration system. As it stands today, the US immigration system is the simplest of all the first world countries. I repeat one more, is the simplest, most predictable of all the first world countries. Let me explain. At the top of people's list right now is UK and Canada when people want to travel. Now, with UK, you have to either go the student route, go the global talent route. For student and global talent, you would need to, especially for students, you would need to show proof of fund that you can support yourself. And when you get there, the truth is you're actually going there as on some kind of status that is not permanent residency, meaning you have to remain in the country, you have to do certain things with that visa. After a while, you can then apply to become a permanent resident of the UK. That's one. Now, for Canada, they have provincial nominee, express entry, student route, all of that. For Canada, you have to go write an exam. Remember, UK, you need to show funds. So people go borrow 20, 30, 40 million to put in the account to be able to process UK visa. For Canada, you have to write IELTS. Now, you and I know that not everybody likes to write exams. You have to write IELTS, you have to score points with your education, score points. If you are over 40, you lose points. Someone who's 25 has a better chance of being selected for express entry than you. So all of that encumbrances, all of those trouble, you still need to show funds in some cases. In some cases, you don't, whether you go, depending whether you go in student route or not. And at the end of the day, you might not get selected. You can keep getting into express entry pool. It's not predictable. It's not guaranteed. You're at the mercy of the system. You don't know what the system will churn out for you. Where else? You want to talk about Germany, Japan, anywhere else? I can tell you all of the challenges you face. That it's not easy for an average person to wake up and say, today I want to start processing. And I know that between the next 2, 3 years, I would arrive in this country as a permanent resident, not a visa holder. The US is the only country that offers everyone that opportunity with the classes of EB1 to 5. Anybody. And when I mean anybody, whether you're a farmer, you're a tailor, you're a mechanic, whoever you are, if you wake up one day and say, I want to be in the US in 3 years as a permanent resident, a green card holder, the US offers that opportunity to everyone. Remember when I started, I said a lot of people are going to say, if it's that easy, why is everyone not doing it? Because they don't have the right information. But you're lucky you're here today, you hear the right information. So I just introduced this to something very powerful, which is the EB route, EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4, EB5. What does EB mean? It actually means employment-based, and the numbers in front of it are first preference, second, third, fourth, and fifth. I would not spend much time explaining each of those categories, but I'll give a brief explanation. As it stands, the first preference means that people who the smartest people who've achieved a lot, they want to bring them in on EB1. So if you've received award, you've done a lot of publications, you've written books, your impact can be verifiable, you have track record of your impact, EB1 might be a good place for you. EB2 are for people who have advanced degree. Now, when we use the word advanced degree, as a Nigerian, advanced degree sounds like a PhD, right? But in the scheme of US immigration, advanced degree means minimum of a bachelor's degree. It means if you have at least a bachelor's degree, it is considered an advanced degree. Poof. Does that surprise you? Bachelor's is considered an advanced degree, meaning that with a bachelor's degree from Nigeria and 10 years of significant work experience, you can, without any US employer, without anybody helping you out, you can plan your green card route, apply for green card, and get the US green card from Nigeria without an employer. That's what we call EB2 national interest waiver. It's as simple as that. Now, EB3 is the most exciting part, is where they decided to be very generous, open it up to anybody, everybody, so whether skilled or unskilled labor, whether you have a degree or not, whether you have experience or not, whether you have money or not. But EB3 is very unique in the sense that it requires you to have a US employer. A US employer has to petition for you to bring you to the US. EB4, for instance, is for religious workers, non-profits. And EB5 is for our big spenders. If you have $500,000 to $1 million you want to invest in the US, you can get a green card. So I've given you an explanation of the different categories of green card opportunities, but I'll return to the EB3 because there's something unique that is tied to this session that EB3 offers. Now, so when it comes to EB3, because you require a US employer, that's your biggest hurdle. Finding an employer in the US that would employ you, give you an offer letter, and decide to start the green card process on your behalf, because it's an employment-based, an employer-based petition, meaning the employer does all the filing, relates with the government on your behalf, gets the approval, and gets in the process of getting your green card. What we have done as Imigify is identify a few employers who require specific talents from anybody anywhere outside the US. And those talents are in high need in the US. Now, talking about talent, let's be very specific here. I'm talking about healthcare. We all know that after COVID-19, the healthcare system of even the first world countries didn't remain the same. A lot of nurses quit nursing because they were overwhelmed. A lot of nursing homes shut down because there were no people to take care of people. And so as we begin to come out of all that experience, there's a need to plan for the next 20, 30 years of the healthcare system. And so they have a system to make sure that they're infusing more healthcare workers, because as the older ones retire, they need other people who can come into the system and keep the system running. And that's why we've partnered with Afro Health. What Afro Health is simply doing is they found great opportunities for work in the US, but they don't have enough workforce in the US to fill those roles. So they are partnering with us to look for folks outside the US who might want to move to the US as an healthcare worker. An healthcare worker, specifically certified nursing assistant. That's the name of the particular role you will be taking. Now, they've streamlined the process, created a training that makes it easy, because, of course, it's not just, you can't just show up and want to take care of people in the hospitals or maybe in care homes without knowing the basic requirements. So they've curated a course, a program that helps you know the basics, write exam, pass that exam, and so that you can then qualify to be placed in line by the employer to start that process for you. I'll be drilling down a little bit into that. And if you have questions, start putting it in chat. When we get to that point, we'll talk in detail of how everybody can benefit from it. But there are quick things I want to bring out on this. The requirements. That's the first thing people ask. But it's too good to be true. What's the requirement? Well, you don't need any degree to be an healthcare worker. If you're doing certified nursing assistant, what you need is a certified nursing assistant training and certification. Training and certification are the keywords, meaning you have to get trained. There are different two levels of that training. There's classroom training, there's physical training. The classroom training is where you get the opportunity to learn the basics of what certified nursing assistant is. The practical training, as a matter of fact, is part of what you would do before you can write the certification exam. But this route is so designed that it makes it a lot easier because once you start, uh, when you get to the point that you need to write the CNA exam, because as you start this program, there's an opportunity for an employer to pick you up and start sponsoring you through this. So by the time it's time for you to write the exam, which mostly everyone that comes through this route write in the US. So your process is going on. You might as well even get your green card, then you travel to the US, write the exam, and start a job. There's a job waiting for you at the other side. I've seen some questions saying, where is the age limit? And one thing I want to call out is there's no retirement age in the US. A lot of things has no age limit. Now, bring me back to where I started from: Canada, UK, US. The US, all the green card path has no age limit. You can be 70-year-old and you want to immigrate to the US on a green card, EB3, to become a certified nursing assistant. That would not stop you. Your age would not stop you. There's no age limitation to that. There is no age limitation. I insist, and you can go verify. There's no age limitation, either to the career or the green card part. So it's actually a rare opportunity for those who can see the value and can start something. I tell people every time. A wise man once said, 25 years ago was the best time to plant a tree. The next best time to plant a tree is today. Because whether it takes you 12 months or it takes you 24 months, one thing you would remember is you would remember today and say, oh, if I started that day, by now I'll have been done with the process. So I tell people, when you find information that is useful, the first step is take your time to verify that information. And once that information is true, if it's within your means, it is always best to act on it. I'll tell a little bit story. Let me digress a little bit. Between the year 2016, 2017, and probably 2018, there was a significant amount of US visa being issued to Nigerians. When I mean significant, very significant. A lot of people in my circle got a US visa at that time. At the time, there were people who were telling, I think you should apply for a US visiting visa. There are two things to say. Well, I don't have money to travel. Or I don't even want, I'm not planning to travel yet. And we kept telling them, you don't have to wait till you need it. I have one policy, and everybody around me know that. It is better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. That's my approach to life. It is better to have it and turns out that you don't need it than to then need it and not have it. So that approach powered people like us, friends, everyone around me. We all went and got the US visa. We were doing business. At the time, we were running us now, and we were doing very well. So we didn't need to travel. It wasn't like we're trying to leave Nigeria. But those visas came in handy when it was time to access global opportunities, when it was time to expand one of our businesses to the US, which is Tokumbo Cars at the time. We needed to run logistics operations for the cars people were buying from Nigeria and make sure we can get it to their doorstep in Nigeria in 90 days. I, for one, picked up my visa, jumped on the plane, went to the US, signed contracts with company, and streamlined our logistics. What if I didn't have the visa? And as of the time I did that, visa was becoming more tougher and tougher to get. What saved a lot of us was we saw the opportunity, we took it. Not everybody. I know friends at the time that couldn't afford the visa fee. That some of them took loan to get the visa fee, but they got the visa. And when it was time to actually access global opportunities, they were just one plane ticket away from accessing that. So what I'm trying to share with you today is that as we go through today's session, as I tell you these things, go verify. Please do your due diligence. I always encourage everybody. Go do your due diligence. Fact check everything I share with you. But as you fact check and you find out it's true, it is now left to you to take the right decision. So I digress. Let me go back to what we're talking about. So I was talking about the EB3 and the process. You need a US employer to actually help you access that opportunity. And when they hire you, they can help you start that process. For them to start that process, you have to be trained first. You cannot, because it's a skilled, well, it's an unskilled skilled role. It's considered unskilled because there's no educational requirement in terms of university degree or not. But there's also a certification you need to take to make sure that you understand the principles of that career. So they take you through that training, and once you complete that training, there's opportunity for things to get started for you. And once they start that process, it's just a matter of time. There are a few things that will be done on the employer side. Employer carries the biggest weight in that process in terms of processing. I know they have to do prevailing wage determination, they have to do labor certification, they have to petition your I-140. All those things are behind the scenes of what the employers will be doing for you. And once they get you an approval, you sit in line to get an immigrant visa from Nigeria. That's one thing I need to break down. Whenever people hear US and interview, it looks like they lose their self-esteem. And I totally understand. A lot of people have PTSD. A lot of people have been traumatized by that experience. But when you hear immigrant visa, one thing I want you to pay attention to is there's non-immigrant and there's immigrant visa. The non-immigrant visas are the student visa, H-1Bs, O-1s, B1, B2, which is visiting visa, all those visas that most people throng the embassy for. The immigrant visa is totally different, because a non-immigrant visa means that you're giving you a visa to go there on the grounds that you would return. You are not relocating. Now, a lot of people take those non-immigrant visa and do what they want with it. That's a different subject. An immigrant visa is they've approved you to move and go live in that country. You are immigrating. You're leaving where you are. You're changing base. You're going there to become a permanent resident. Keep emphasis on permanent means you permanently reside there with the intention to keep living there, doing business there, live a life there, build a life there. What you get at the end of this process is an immigrant visa. Why are we saying this is a green card route, but you're getting an immigrant visa? The short answer is you cannot get a US green card if you're outside of the US. So you need that immigrant visa to enter the US before you can then take hold of your green card. They're not going to mail it to you in Nigeria. So when you go through the immigrant visa route is a lot easier. The questions that they ask you has to do with your background and profile. Simple question. Have you committed a crime? Have you been convicted? Have you ever been arrested? So long as you don't misrepresent facts, because they will do background check on everyone. You will be easy. I have yet to see anyone through this process that didn't get an immigrant visa after the approval. Through us, I'm yet to see it. It's a very rare occurrence. I tell people, if you think about this opportunity, think about visa lottery. When there was the green card lottery US used to do, I know they stopped in 2012. So for folks who might be a little younger, you might not know that before 2012, every year there's a lottery that the US government does all over the world. People enter the lottery system, they pick a few people. Once they pick you, you're as good as you're in the US. You just need to go file some paperwork, do background check and all of that, and you're on the way to the US. I know a lot of folks who came to the US through that. Whoever gets a visa lottery ticket that won, what they get is what the employer gives you also. So you stand the same chance. The way it was so sure for whoever that wins the visa lottery that they are definitely going to the US, it's the same way so sure for you when the employer files for you and gets you your I-140 and is approved. So when you're going to the immigrant visa, you have to stand the same chance as the person who won a visa lottery who is confident that they're leaving the country. So there's not, what if they refuse me? That's not the case. They don't, except you have lied on your application, and it's a grievance, a major offense that, for instance, you've been part of terrorism, or recently, if you've been posting something negative about the US government or president, that might cause an issue for you. So other than that, it's pretty smooth and straightforward. So I've said a lot, and I want to make sure I recap really quickly. We've partnered with AfroHealth to help you train as a certified nursing assistant. But most importantly, as you go through that, when you're trained, the process for you becoming filing for your permanent residence starts after that training, because you need this outcome, the certificate for that training, for an employer to hire you and start that process. Everything has been set. The line has been set for you. Once you kickstart, you can move from phase one to phase two gradually. And I know they have a class coming up in December. The class are limited, so if you can join that class early and be part of the December cohort, so that when they're done, the December course, once they graduate, they start the process. There are other people who, I know there's a class going on right now, September cohort. Folks are taking advantage of it. I know that one thing about Nigerians, once we find a good way, we'll go and use it before we tell our neighbor. So if you don't know, it's because you don't know. It doesn't mean your neighbor doesn't know, or it doesn't mean your neighbor is not doing it. So, but if you're here today, you stand a great opportunity. You're hearing it firsthand. What you do with this information in the next 5 years will determine where you would be. So I see some people sent questions due to what's happening in Nigeria presently. Most don't have financial ability to subscribe for these referrals. I understand what concerns people have. No good things come cheap. The house you live in, you pay rent. The car you drive, you bought it. Nothing good comes cheap. If I came here and tell you, well, this thing is free, you're not paying any amount to take advantage of this opportunity, I think you should be scared, because that sounds like human trafficking. So, and I know not everybody will be able to access it. And that's why when I started, I said, if you get this opportunity and you fact check and it's within your means, then it's the right opportunity for you. But I understand it might not be the opportunity for everyone. Someone is saying, is it online, or where's the venue? Yes, you do online. I think there's 2 sessions of it. There's self-paced, and there's a live class where the instructor come live and take a class, and you guys are able to ask questions. So that's about it. I know we have a lot of things packed. Don't worry. Or there's a question and answer session where we're going to go deep into the weeds of the process. But I just wanted to let you guys know that US immigration is one of the easiest. You need to take a step back, look at your profile, look at what is best for you, then start it now. Start it now. It could be EB1, it could be EB2. If you feel like you don't have strong profiles and you need an employer to work with you, take advantage of the CNA route and get an employer to actually help you through the process. If you're a GO and you own a church, EB4 is for you. There's an opportunity for you to move your ministry to the US. And if you have access to some clean money, not laundered money, and you want to invest in the US, because if you launder money and you try to invest through us, we would have definitely report to the right authorities. We are not going to be party to crime in any way. So, yes. As I begin to round off this session, please put your questions together. Keep dropping your questions. We are going to get to a Q&A session. But just to be very clear, on the green card route and expanding your opportunity, there are 5 different opportunities that you can take as EB1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But what is most important that we do at Imagify is we help you create a blueprint of relocation and integration. Everybody else sells relocation. We sell relocation and integration. Relocation means they just move you from where you are to a new place. What happens after you get there? Do you know where you're supposed to live? Do you know what kind of job you should get? Do you know how to get a driver's license? Do you know how to pass a driving test? Do you know if you have kids? Do you know how to enroll them in schools? What neighborhood you should live in to make sure your kids have the right influence? There's more to what we offer other than just relocation. And just to say this in closing, if you have a family, this opportunity covers your wife and children. The only people it doesn't cover is if you have more than one wife. US is not aligned with polygamy. So you might have to choose one wife of all your wives to bring, but you cannot take more than one wife. You can take all your children, whether they're stepchildren, whether you have them from different women, it does not matter. But you can legally only immigrate with one wife. So it covers your family. I see someone say, what about people with 20 plus years of tech experience? Absolutely. There's EB1, EB2. And that's why I started with people with experience, bachelor's degree, strong work experience, impact in their field, awards. EB1 and EB2 is where we, bring in these people and help them start a process. It is very defined. It is very predictable. It is a yes or no. You don't need to show bank statement. You don't need to show proof of income. It means that you don't need to be a millionaire to be able to immigrate to the US. You just need to be able to understand the process and choose the right partner to work with. You don't need to write IELTS. You don't need to write TOEFL. You don't need to write any exam. Come as you are. That's what US is saying. That's the way US is set up. Just come as you are. Bring the skill, bring the experience you have. Bring it. We want you just the way you are. We're not saying you have to go write proof of English. Nigeria speaks English. We speak English. We've been speaking English since we were kids. And the US recognized that. If you need English classes, there's an opportunity for you to do that yourself, but it's not required for your process. And so if you're a skilled person with 20 years of tech experience, you should totally talk to a team. EB1, EB2 will profile you if you have a strong profile, if you've been on panels, if you've done judged the work of others, you've published a book, or your work has been cited or talked about, or your business has been talked about in newspaper, there might be opportunity for you on EB1. And if you've not done that, that's okay. You have a bachelor's degree, 5 years to 10 years of work experience, or you have a master's degree, 5 years experience, or you have a PhD, there's an opportunity for you on EB2. And some of those routes are called self-petition, which is where I started from. EB1 and EB2, national interest waiver. You don't need a US company. You don't need to know anybody. You don't need anything from the US. No connection, no family, no company to be able to get a US green card. You can get a US green card by yourself, especially for those people in tech. You don't need anybody. If anybody tells you they need to connect you with somebody to get a US green card, no. However, you need to choose the right partner. And that's where we come in as Imigify. So I've seen questions about, is there any opportunities of tech? Like I said, we have an integration plan. For those who come in with EB1 and EB2, there's a plan of the blueprint we help them set up. We deliver those blueprints to them on how to scale. Now, what I didn't tell you guys is a little backstory. I'm almost at time, but I'll tell you guys because it's important. I started the story about how, the first time I went to the US was to go streamline our operations. And I went back to Nigeria after that. Then I came back to the US when I was totally ready to settle down here. And one of the things that helped myself, Deji, my partner, you're going to see him very soon, was the fact that we knew the right information, the right circle, the right approach, and if up to the right way to negotiate. I, my partner, successfully worked with the biggest name in tech. Think about it. If you want to mention 5 biggest companies in the world in tech: Microsoft, Amazon, maybe Tesla, Apple, Facebook, which is Meta. What else? Google. That's all. If you have not worked in those 5 or 6 companies in tech, you can't say you've reached the top echelon of your career. I worked at Microsoft and he worked at Amazon. And I didn't just work as Microsoft, as one of those Microsoft employees. I worked as a senior manager. You can check out my profile. As a senior manager, as a level away from director of product management at Microsoft. Why? How did I get there? The same experience from Nigeria, the local business we were running. I started off my career at a weird place called Yabatech, where I was a civil servant. How do you go from that to working as a senior manager in Microsoft? You must have known something every other person that is moving to the US doesn't know. It's how to curate your experience and presenting in the right light to land the right role. And that's why we're able to transform our lives, transform our fortune. And we've not just done it for ourselves. In the past 6 years, there are over 50 people that we've helped land roles. Now, this was just the extra package. You're not paying for this one. It's the extra package, because we know that immigration might seem simple, but integration is the most difficult part. When you get here, how do you find your way around? And so we've built that playbook of integration, how to negotiate salaries. If there are some things I can't share here, those who join, we have what we call an elite club membership, which is for people on EB1, achieved members. I'm able to share some of those opportunities with them and share numbers and say, hey, if you get a deal, if you get a job at Microsoft, this is how much you should negotiate in paycheck, in sign-on bonus, in stocks. People get stocks as much as $300,000 to $500,000 in stock. That's not their paycheck. That's not their salary. That's free money because they negotiated right. But not to digress. I just had to share that personal experience of how a local boy from Lagos, Nigeria, was able to grow his career and play on a global stage as a senior manager at Microsoft, running an integration worth over $1 billion, which is Dynamics for Microsoft, where Microsoft acquired it, and we're trying to integrate it into a connected customer experience within Microsoft. I was driving that roadmap all the way from Lagos, Nigeria. So, and not only me, Deji, my partner, did that too. You can, if there's an opportunity, we will share that with you too. How he was the senior manager at Amazon. If you know what it takes to get into Amazon, you will know that it's not a small feat. But all of this was because we knew something, right? We understand the immigration process, but much more we understand the integration process. And that's what I'm inviting everyone to come to today. Take advantage of EB1, EB2. And if you feel like I don't have a strong profile, I don't think that I have all this master's degree, achievement, and all of that, it's okay. Take advantage of EB3, go through the Afro Health route, and you will get the same thing. I make one joke to tell everyone that, you see, when you get a green card, nobody knows. Green card is green card. I repeat, a green card is a green card. Whether you got it from EB1 or you got it from EB5, a green card is a green card. So it does not matter what route you choose. You should choose the route that is best for you. And that's why we preach. Choose a route that is best for you, so that it's the easiest route, that you would not be stressing, and it will be more fun because you will be able to spend more time preparing for your integration and not just immigration. So I think with this full point of mine, I've been able to confuse you. I'm just kidding. I've been able to convince you that US is actually the most viable option if you're planning to expand your global reach, or give your career an opportunity to play on a global stage. I think at this point, I'll hand it over to AY back. Thank you for having me. I know we have a second after this.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel. That's a lot of information in there. All right, so okay, I think we'll be moving now into question and answer, but we'll have to give people, let's say, 2 minutes so to put together your questions. If you like to speak, you can indicate, then we may allow you enter the studio to ask your questions. However, you can drop your comments as well. You can drop your questions as comments as well. But if you would like to speak, of course, you can let us know. Then we can allow you into the studio to also speak. So we'll just in 60 seconds, just have more like a break. Then put together your questions, and we'll be back. Okay, okay. Yeah, we are back and we'll be taking questions. So, Mr. Hema, is it okay if I read out the questions or do you want to?
Yeah, you can read out the question, so I can I can
Okay,
I
okay,
can attempt to answer them.
okay, okay. So, I'll start from Paul Edumo. I believe I pronounced that correctly. So Paul is asking, is saying I have 18 years banking experience. What is my chance?
That's actually a great one. One of our recent clients who just got a green card, it should be about 10 days ago, was the banker from Nigeria. So yes, depending on what route you want to go, which what we always recommend is reach out to the team with your resume. They will tell you which route is the best, that looks like the strongest one for you, and kind of help you leverage that path. But with 18 years of work experience, uh, with progressive career in banking, yes, you might be able to do EB2. But if you're depending on what level you are, what kind of projects you've driven, what impact you've driven at that job, you might be considerable for EB1. So, yes, you have a strong chance of getting a US green card with those number of years of experience in banking.
Okay, thank you so much for that. I believe, Paul, your question has been answered. So, okay, he's also asking what's the cost implications for the EB2 visas?
So when you say cost implication, well, the cost of working with Imagify is if you're doing an EB2 national interest waiver, is $7,000. But you, we have a payment option in Naira, and there's a payment plan that you can work with. But if you're doing an EB1, it's 10,000. Now, all that covers all your fees that goes to the government, the cost of processing, and every support you will get through the process. We have a dedicated team that supports to make sure that you build a strong profile. Others ask you to just submit documents so they can do trial by error. We sit with you to understand what you have, look at the gap of what you don't have, and help you build a strong profile before even thinking about submitting. So, what you're paying for is the concierge service to get you prepared and be rightly positioned to be able to apply. So it's you're paying for that peace of mind that even if I'm not, if I don't have a strong profile, they would work with me. They would make sure that I can actually build a strong profile before they apply for me. That's what we do.
All right. All right. Thank you so much for that. Ayoluwa Aribi is asking, does this also include those in the construction and engineering field?
Yes, every field, no one is left out. Whether and that's why I started by breaking down EB 1, 2, 3. There's something we say. It's usually a slogan. I know every Imagify person knows this. There's a green card for any and everyone in the world, but people don't know whether you're even as a welder. You see your local welder on the street. If only they knew they can get a green card by just being a welder with no educational background. A truck driver, people who drive Dangote trailer, that experience can get them a green card. Whoever you are, you can get a green card. There's a path that works for you.
Okay, there is a path that works for you, whoever you are. All right. Sunday Stanley is asking, how do I go through your training on the EB3?
You would have to go to afrohealth.care, afrohealth.care. I think the team can share that with you. Afrohealth.care. You would see an opportunity to join the December cohort. We're not the one doing the training. Afrohealth does the training because Afrohealth is the actual employer. They make sure their employees, people they want to bring through the process, are well trained first before they can start working towards bringing them through the process, because it's a requirement. If you don't have the training, they would not be able to petition for you. So yes, I think the link is also scrolling on the screen. If you can leverage that link to go sign up for the program, for the CNA program on
All right, thank you, sir. So, Mark Ajayi, please, where does Imigify comes in and the cost implication?
It depends on, okay, I think I've answered part of that question, the cost implication. EB2 national interest rate by $7,000. You have a payment plan, and this is a green card route. This is not a visa. Uh, it covers your family also. So the other part of the question, I really don't understand. If they can provide more insight to where do we come in. I think I shared a little about what we do. You are not paying to just file a case. You're paying for us to sit down, understand your profile, compare it against the requirement, look at the gaps. Now, I'll be fair to you. 95% of our clients don't have a strong, ready profile when they came. 95 to, I'm saying we have only had one client since we started, and we've helped a lot of people that had a profile that was ready made. We didn't need to do anything with them. So 95% to 99% of our clients always, we need to sit down with them and help them understand, okay, these are other things you can go do. These are certifications you can go take. Sometimes our team go extra mile to help them find those certifications. In some cases, even pay for the certification. Say, just watch the videos, write the exam, and get the certification to build a strong profile. So what it entails and where we come in is making sure you have a strong profile, then applying for you so that you have the assurance that you're getting success at the end of it.
Okay. Thank you for that, sir. So, something me, I have certification on PSW personal support from University of Ontario, Canada. Can it be used?
Yes, it can be used depending on what route you're going on. Like I said, the second preference, which is EB2, requires educational background, and every other certification and training you have strengthens your profile for an EB2. While EB1 is strictly what impact you've driven in the world.
Okay. So, if Firma is asking how long does it take for EB1A from now if I want to pay?
Depending on where you are in the world. So I don't want to assume everybody's in Nigeria. So depending on where you are in the world, if you're within the US, we would say budget 6 to 9 months from start to finish of getting your green card. If you're outside the US, we would say budget 12 to 18 months. And this timeline might vary because for EB1, you have on all of the application, whether EB1, 2, or 3, you have an opportunity to speed up your process, where is what we call premium processing, where you pay an extra fee so that the government can give you a response within 15 working days. So that first phase for EB1, you can scale it a lot faster. So meaning that it is easier for you to be able to just kickstart that process and get in line. Now, however, once you get the first approval, you would then be placed in line with what we call consular processing, meaning that you've got to file for I-140 for your green card and it has been approved. However, you need to then get a green card or immigrant visa. You'll be placed in line for an interview. The interview is not the kind where you select your date. They would invite you to come for an interview. So budget, if it's EB1, budget's 12 to 18 months. If it's EB2, add another 6 months to that. It might take between 18 to 24 months. But like I said, the best time to plant a tree was 25 years ago. The next best time is today. The people we talk to about this 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that didn't take steps. They're back taking steps now. And we keep telling them, you should have just done it then. It was even a lot shorter 3, 4 years ago. It was this timeline was a lot shorter 4 years ago.
Okay, thank you. So the next best time to plant a tree is today. Okay, Sunday Stanley is saying I'm into logistics and supply chain management, but with very few years of experience. Will the EB2 work for me, or do you advise I go with the EB3?
If you have less than 5 years of progressive, significant work experience, EB3 might be your best route. Like I said, we put square pegs in square holes. We don't try to do trial by error. And that's why we've been able to keep our approval rating at 100%. And I make bold to say, if there's any human being on this planet that can come out and say, my petition was refused or denied and I went through McFi, they should come out and say we have never lost one. And it's not because just because of the effort we put into it. It's because we ensure people are actually eligible for what they're applying for. You should have the right strong profile for what you're applying for. So it's not about come and apply. It's about making sure that you have the right profile so that when you apply with peace of mind.
Okay. Ikena is asking, I'm into logistics and supply chain management with 11 years experience. I also have several certifications that are leaning into data analysis. What do you suggest?
That profile looks like a profile that can go for EB2, but depending on the level of impact you're driven, we might be able to look at if you might fit into an EB1 process. But 11 years experience, yes. In logistics, yes. EB2 might be a good place for you.
Okay. Mark Ajayi, thanks very much for the insightful session. I have more than 15 years in the power industry as an electrical engineer, and I also have some data analysis experience. In addition, I love teaching as well. What are my chances and what route would you recommend for me?
Like I said, if you have about 10 years experience, with a significant profile, yes, EB2 might be great for you. If you have experience and you've not done a lot in your experience, you can show significant improvements in your experience. One of the beauty of EB3 is it does not require you doing anything other than the training. So if you feel like I don't want to have to prove all my work, I don't want to stress myself, then go the EB3 route. But with that profile, yes, EB2 would work for you.
All right. Oladimeji Ayola. I have 5 years working experience as a customer service representative. Will I be able to proceed on EB2 or any?
5 years of work experience, customer representative. I would need to know what if you have a bachelor's or master's degree. Right now, I would say EB3 might be better, but if you have a master's degree, maybe EB2 would work for you.
Okay. Paul is asking again, what is the exact timeline for the EB2 route?
There is no specific timeline. There are two things that you need to pay attention to when it comes to timeline. There's what they call the priority date, and there's consular processing. Priority date is when you file and you do not um, expedite. That's how long it takes for them to process your first petition. Consular processing is when you've received approval, but they have then placed you in line because your date is now current, everything is okay. They now place you in line for an immigrant interview. Now, that process takes a minute because for everyone that gets into that process of getting an immigrant interview, they run background check to make sure they are all eligible and admissible to the US. So it takes a little bit of time. So if you add maybe the current priority date delay on EB2 right now is about 14 months. And we can see it used to be 24 months, it dropped to 14 months last month. So during this period, I like to digress. I came to the US during Trump's first presidency. And one thing that is synonymous is actually the best time to move to the US. And I tell everybody that cares to listen because a lot of people all over the world are not applying. So there is space for the people applying. If you wait until when Trump leaves and another president comes that welcomes immigrants, you would have more competition. So when we came, it was during Trump. So there was not a lot of competition because a lot of people were not traveling to the US. People were afraid of being turned back. People were afraid of so they were not applying. So we applied and it was fast.
Okay. Thank you. Victor Injoku, do you have a financing package to assist? Would be okay? Do you have a financing package to assist? Then would the applicants reimburse you on arriving in the US?
We do not do that. That sounds like modern day slavery. So I understand what you're saying. What we're looking at doing is partner with a couple of banks, microfinance bank that could help people finance this kind of process. and they can pay while they're still back in Nigeria before they leave Nigeria. So we are working with that partnership and other pay small avenues where you can access soft loans up to 10 million naira, and you can use it to commit to this process. But we don't have that as of today, but we're looking at that partnership pretty soon.
If you're my 18 years banking experience in compliance, how much is it and can I get it in 8 months?
Can you get it in 18 months? I would say for 18 years in
In eight,
compliance,
in 8 months. Eight.
in 8 months, no, you can't get it in
Yes.
8 months if you're outside the US. If anybody told you that, they're lying to you. So you can't, if you're outside of the US, you cannot get it in 8 months because the consular processing time is not determined by us, not determined by any factor that is in the US. It is determined by the consulate, which is the embassy back home, how much backlog of people they have to interview for immigrant visa. So they start, you can see when you have the approval and they send your name to them, you can always log in and see how long it's going to take, average processing time. You can keep monitoring it until it's time for them to call you. It usually just take 8, 9 months before. And that's why what I'm saying about applying now, because less people are applying now, we will see that timeline that is 12 months dropping down to less than that, or 18 months dropping down to less than that in a couple of months, because people are not, everybody's avoiding the US right now. And this is the best time for you to get in because you have less competition. So it can't be done in 8 months. Sorry, go on your way.
Okay. Usman Ismaila is asking, I have 8 years experience in IT, system administrators, and 2 years in cybersecurity. What visa is eligible for me and where can I start from?
Yeah, that's a very good question. A very good question, because today I spoke focused on green card routes and I didn't say anything about visas. If you have a significant experience in cybersecurity, there are work visas that might be eligible for, that you might be eligible for outside of green card. But all of those work visas requires a US employer. And there's a twist to that. If you own your own business, there's an opportunity for you to register a version of that business in the US and self-petition and transfer yourself to the US. I didn't spend much time on that. I know we have sessions coming on for entrepreneurs, which I'll be speaking at. And that is really targeted for entrepreneurs, people who want to, they have a business back home, but they want to expand their business. They're not ready to relocate, but they want to be able to have easy access to the US back and forth. So yes, to ask a question, on the green card side, EB2, EB1 might be good for you, depending on the level of impact you've driven for EB1. But ordinarily, just with your experience, EB2 will be strong in cybersecurity for you. If you find the right person to put your case together, you would have a great opportunity. But on the work visa side, which is non-immigrant visa, so work visas and non-immigrant visas, you might be able to do an O1A visa, which has a lot shorter timeline, but you have to attend a non-immigrant interview for that after petition. But it's a work visa that gives you access to everything when you move to the US, just like you are someone with a permanent resident. You can work, you can get your social security, you can do a lot.
Okay. Grace Godwin, can I still send an invite link to someone who didn't know about this opportunity? Oh, yes, please, Grace, go ahead to share the invite link. So, moving next to Ikenna, with 11 years in logistics and supply chain management, with one of the biggest FMCG in Nigeria as manager, what route do you suggest for me and my family of 5? Also, can you explain more on the payment plans?
So I would say, right, without drilling into your experience, EB2 strongest point, EB1 probably depending on the level of projects you've driven, impact, mentions you've got in the newspaper if there's any, but EB2 might be a good spot for you with what you shared. But until we look closely into your profile, we cannot tell you for sure what you should be doing. But I can give you at a high level, you look like an EB2 strong candidate right now. And in terms of, I think I've explained how much it costs and the payment plan. I think to start with us, if you're going the EB3 route, EB3, I think you only need to go do the training. When you're done with the training, EB3 is the cheapest of our route. It's less than $5,000. At least I think it's $3,500. Uh, is the cheapest of our route. So for folks who want to go through that route, feel free once you're done with your training. If you want us to help you through that process, we can. But EB1 and 2, I've mentioned the price. You pay about 20% to start off. That's all you need. If you pay 20%, your process has started. The team will jump on your case and start helping you, putting you in the right position to be able to apply.
Okay, thank you. So Spencer Shoyemi, you're asking what is the duration. So please, could you be more specific? Are you asking about the duration training or to get your EB green card started? So could you be more specific, please? I'll move to the next person. Abiodun Oyebanji. How long does EB3 training as an assistant on Afriel?
I think it's about 4 to 6 weeks training. It's about 4 to 6 weeks for the training. So you would be ready to start your process after that training.
Okay. Samson Ogunto Ashe. Thanks for this platform. Please, I'm a logistics or administrative officer with an international NGO, 10 years experience with masters in entrepreneurship. Please, does the route suit my case?
You sound like you might be able to do EB1, EB2, and maybe EB4, depending on if your employer wants to be involved in the process of immigration or if you want to self-petition. If you want to self-petition, you sit between EB1 and 2. Your years of experience are great. However, for EB1, you need to show strong, extraordinary abilities in terms of how commendable your work has been and the impact your work has driven. So if you can prove that, EB1 might be something you can take advantage of. But however, EB2 looks like your strongest point for you. But until we know more, we can't tell you for sure. So this is me just giving you ballpark responses based on the few information you've provided.
Okay. Real one is asking, I have a bachelor in chemistry and an MBA in production management. I have 8 years experience in food manufacturing quality assurance. Please, what route do you suggest for me? And is there any financing support or package?
EB2 might be the strongest point. Looking at your background, chemistry, MBA, food processing, 8 years of experience, EB2 might be the best route.
Okay. If you're $10,000 for EB1, is that the only cash I will pay? Then am I to pay any money for premium 15 days approval? I need to know how the fees so I can plan ahead.
The $10,000 covers all of the process except the premium. Premium is an additional service. It's optional. Not everybody does premium. So because it's optional, you choose if you want to spend that $2,805. But the 10,000 covers everything. When we tell you a price at Imigify, nothing else comes out of it. If we say it's 10,000, there is nothing under heaven that will make us come back and say it's remaining one. No, all through the process, even up to your consular processing visa fee is embedded in that 10,000 for the main applicant. So, but the premium processing you might have to pay out of pocket yourself because it's an external, it's an optional service that you choose. You chose to do it, and you should cover the cost. So it's not part of that 10,000.
Okay. So, Usman, I have a BSc in information technology, 10 years experience in IT systems administrator, and 2 years in cybersecurity. What visa is eligible for me?
I think EB2, right at the top of my head, like I said, until we can prove that your work has driven impact with some notable mentions, we can put you on EB1. But if you work closely with us and we sit through your resume, do a strategy session with our team, if you go to imigify.com on our homepage, click on schedule a strategy session, you will meet with our immigration consultant and they will be able to give you an in-depth analysis of your profile and tell you what's best.
Okay. Kolawole Okonlawon. I have a BTech in applied biology in about 5 years in the safety or health space with certifications in view for the 7 years, what route would you advise?
EB2 might be yeah, EB2 would work in terms of where you sit. I'll put EB2 at the top, EB3 next, EB1 would be way, 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 way lower on the list. Except you've done some research, published papers with citations, then you might be close to an EB1. Because just thinking about your career path, there are a lot of impact you can drive. So if you've published papers, if you've written books, if you've contributed to your field, or you've come up with model or strategies to do things better, you might be able to do EB1, even though you have 5 years of work experience.
Okay. If you're can I be in USA schooling and at the same time with my experience apply for EB1A?
Yes, you can be anywhere in the world when you do it. If you're in school in the US, it even makes it a lot easier. Uh, yes, it makes it a whole lot easier. The timeline I'm giving you here today, the 18 months, 12 months, 24 months, are for folks outside of the US. Folks within the US, the latest green card we filed in April, and by August, yes, last week in August, which is 4 months, he got his green card. So if you're in the US, it's a lot faster. And that's what I'm saying about this season is the best time for you to apply because things are moving a lot faster now.
Okay. Tawheed Olayiwola, how are you accessing the profile and where are you doing it from?
So you go to imagify.com, create an account. Once you sign in, there's an opportunity for you to upload your resume. Our team will review it and let you know. However, this is what we encourage. If you want to start any one of these processes, schedule a strategy session with our team. Let me tell you why that's very important. You have people, it's going to be only you on that call with people working with you, dissecting your experience and telling you, okay, this is what you have done. This is what we think is best for you. However, this is what we think you need to do to build your profile. But this is how we would support you to do what you need to do. Like just coming up with a plan for you, setting up a roadmap and telling you this is step by step, this is what we're going to be doing. This is how we can support you through what you need to do. And this is the timeline of how you can apply. There's nothing better than applying with confidence, knowing that you're not wasting your money.
Okay. Sunday, what is the cost for EB3 processing?
I think I shared that it's 3,500. In some cases, you might find an employer that will cover that cost for you. But some people they'll be like, I want to hold my destiny in my hand. If I wait for an employer, it might take 6 months. I want to kickstart it myself. It's up to you. So yes, it's 3,500.
Okay. Samson is then asking, do you mean 3,500? Yeah, is total of what I would pay if I should go through EB3 after my certification.
That's correct. Yes. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that's correct.
Okay, if you am saying, thank you, Emma. Just tell what's next to do. Also, I heard sometimes they reject. In case they reject, what next from you and your team?
We would never back down. So if for any reason, God forbid, they reject your application, you will get a complimentary submission from us. You don't have to pay. It will be a complimentary resubmission. But we have, like I said, I'm all over the internet shouting 100% approval. If I was lying, somebody would have come out and said I applied through them and I was denied or I was rejected. So um, I stand to be corrected. We've not witnessed that. It has never happened in our case. And we work on a lot of cases. So, but for everyone that want to start, go to imagify.com and sorry, account.imagify.com. If admin can help, paste that link to where you can create an account. Just start your process. The team will reach out to you. If you, the best is to schedule a strategy session. It gives you very clear, very good clarity on what you need to, where you will start from. But your resume is very important. You need to give us your resume. We need to know. And when we say resume, don't give us the one you used to looking for work. Add everything, every award you received in church, every award you received in maybe social, like Rotaract, Leo's Club, everything. Add everything, make it loaded. Whether the award is local to your church or is local to your street or is local to your job, every kind of certification training, whether you wrote an exam or not, add everything in that resume. Let it be loaded so that they can give you a true picture of where you stand when it comes to each of those opportunities.
Okay. So thank you so much. I think we have come. Okay, kindly help us with your strategy session contact details. Okay, I think we have come to the end of questions. I don't know if other people still have questions. If we still have some time, Mr. Emma, what would you say?
Well, if there are no
We
questions,
still have some time. Say 2 minutes.
let's see if there are other questions. But there are no questions. So if, unless you want us to wait for people to think of questions and come up with one. But like I said, if you know friends, family members who don't have a strong profile, but you want to set them up for life, put them in the EB3 plan, let them do that training. Let them do that training. Once they start that training, their process kickstarts. Their process kickstarts. And once their process kickstarts, that's the most important thing. I know people who are just graduating that doesn't they don't have any experience. We're encouraging parents, we're encouraging sisters and brothers, people who can afford to put them in the process. Let them go do this thing. By the time they start this process, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, they have a green card. They can choose to relocate to the US. It's the best gift you can give anyone. It's the best gift. I know that because not only have I been able to be in the US myself, I have brought my parents to the US. They go back and forth. There are people that are close to me that I've been able to bring to the US by only me coming to the US and becoming a US citizen. I've given more people around me the access to do that. I think we
Okay.
should round off at this point. If there are any questions, they can email hello at Imagify. I know the team kind of monitors that email and they can use that to respond.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for attending. At this time, I would just like to bring up Christiana. Thank you, Mr. Emma. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. It's been amazing sharing insights with you.
Hi guys. Thank you, Mr. Emma. Thank you, AY. That was really a lot. I'm sure we all took notes. Thank you guys for joining. As we round up, remember, you can reach our team. Use the link on your screen to get started. We have the cohort starting in December. Join the waitlist. So just use the link on your screen. Take advantage of that to join the waitlist. Also go to our website and go to account.imigify.com and create an account. Once you do that, you'll be asked to submit your resume. Once we get your resume, the team will review that and get back to you. Okay, thanks everyone. Thank you. If you have further questions, you can reach us on hello@imagify.com. But for now, to get started, you can join the waitlist for the next cohorts. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Had a great time. All right. Thank you, guys. I think we can bring the call to a close now. Okay. Thank you, guys. All right. Have a good evening, everyone.
Okay, so we'll be closing this session now. Thanks everyone for joining. If you have questions, please send us email. Email us at hello@imigify.com. hello@imigify.com. You can follow the link showing on your screen to share your resume with the team. The team will assess your resume and we will let you know what you may qualify for and the next steps. So you can follow that link bit.ly/imigifycs. You can follow the link. You can click. If it's not clicking on your hand, you can just type it into your browser bit.ly/imigifycs. So you can share your resume, or you can just share your resume directly to our email hello@imigify.com. Let us know that you are coming from the career summit so we can treat it as a matter of urgency. So the team will assess your resume and get back to you on what you may qualify for and how to get started immediately. So in 3 minutes, I'll be closing this session. So please do well to take note of the email that has been shared, of the links that have been shared for Afro Health training. You can join the waitlist towards the December cohort. You can join the waitlist here. It's showing on your screen as well. Join the waitlist bit.ly/CNA-CS. bit.ly/CNA-CS. This is where you join the waitlist for the healthcare route for the certified nursing assistant. So you are going to get updates. I'm also going to share a Slack account where you can join the our Slack channel to receive more updates. More updates. More updates. Real one, the Afrail training. You receive an update from us once you join the waitlist. Please do well to join the waitlist. Everyone will receive an update on the pricing, on the duration. You receive update and next steps. So please do well to join the waitlist, and also you can join the Slack channel, but you should join the waitlist. Thanks everyone. Don't forget to email us your resume. Let us take a look at your resume. We'll get back to you on what you may qualify for and the next steps. Yusuf Omolola, I joined late. Please, what certification is required for health assistant route? Minimum requirement is O level. With O level, you can start the healthcare route. Minimum requirement O level. O level. Okay. In 60 seconds, I will be rounding off this session. Do ensure you've joined the waitlist for the healthcare route. Ensure you have our email or you have clicked the link to submit your resume. Please do well to share your resume with us. The team would love to take a look at your resume. Real one, you have such a good profile there. Ifeoma, Usman, great profiles, great profile. Please drop your resume for us. Let us take a look at it, and we will let you know what route you may qualify for and the next steps. All right, thank you, We're waiting to get your emails. Don't forget to join the waitlist, Afro Health. Then the Slack channel is there. You can join the Slack channel, but please do ensure you join the waitlist. The link once again is bit.ly/CNA-CS. And if you have further questions, please, or further inquiries, or you were not able to pick what you wanted to pick before we end this call, please just send us a quick email, hello@imigify.com. 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 All right. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much for joining. Bye for now.